welcome to another Artist Within. I'm Casey Bell, your host, and today's guests are Jennifer and Roman. Jennifer and Roman met in Ohio and became dance partners, and soon moved to New Hampshire and now are collaborating on art. Not only do they make art on the dance floor, but they create art on canvases as well. Let's take a look at this interview with these two wonderful artists. So, what is your earliest memory of you creating art?
Together or
Separately.
separately. The first time I created art that I really remember, I was in second grade, and a woman came to our school and taught us how to draw the Garfield, the cat. And that's the first thing I remember actually making or being taught to make, was a picture of Garfield.
I used to doodle a lot when I was a kid. I don't really remember how old I was, but all throughout my childhood, I used to doodle on school desks.
I think that's just called graffiti. That's called vandalism.
Well, I never doodled in the bathrooms, though.
Okay.
But yeah, and later I just started singing songs I saw on MTV back in Russia when I was 10. So yeah. But together we started making art back 10 years ago.
Yeah, together in I think 2010.
So whose idea was it? Who came up with the collaboration?
Well, we're actually dance partners, and we're partners in life, but we were dance partners first. And it just seemed like a natural collaboration that just came out of that because we got along so well. And we were best friends, and I think we were just looking for more things to do together. That was before we were dating. So, so our first non-dance project was we co-wrote a story together. And then I had been making a living before I was a dancer, selling mixed media art that I made online. And I think, Roman, it was your idea for us to try painting together. And
yeah, even though Jennifer's been painting for a long time by then. But I think we might have went to photograph abandoned places before that.
Yes, probably.
So that was our first collab where we would just sneak into abandoned buildings in Ohio and take pictures.
Yeah, so.
Cool. So I should have asked this question earlier, kind of a backup question. So you said Russia. Is that where you were born?
Yeah, St. Petersburg, okay. Russia.
Where are you guys now?
We're in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire.
So. Cool. It's pretty much like Russia.
And where were you? And Jennifer, where were you born?
I was born in New Hampshire, but we met in Ohio, and now we're in New Hampshire.
Wow. So here in America, no matter what type of field you're in, they don't like when you cross over, so to speak. So if you're in the art world and you do portraits, they want you to stay in portraits. If you do, abstract, they want you to stay in abstract. But I remember when I started creating my art, I kind of knew about that, but I always say I don't discriminate my artwork, my gift. And so I noticed from the art you sent me, you have some abstract and you also have some portraits. Were you aware of that whole, I call it a stupid rule? And if you were, what caused you to say, I don't have to follow this because there really is no law that says I have to?
Well, like I said, before I was dancing, I was making my living selling those portrait pieces that you saw, which were mixed media, altered vintage photos. And I did very well with those. And that was what I was known for. But eventually, after years and years of kind of just, I hate to say, pumping out the same work, it wasn't exciting for me at all anymore. So I kept trying to do different things, illustrations, more abstract work, and it wouldn't sell. And because it was my job, I really needed the artwork to sell. So I kept going back to the portraits. And I think what helped was having it not be my job. So I didn't rely on making art for money anymore. And Roman was a great inspiration. And so we just started working on things that to us reminded us of the abandoned buildings that we would go and photograph together. And that's what I really, really love. Like, I'm passionate about making art like that, but it was good that we didn't have to rely on it for our jobs. It allowed us to take risks and do things that I think most people would go, oh, I don't like that. Or we're like, that's just weird.
Yeah, and I never thought about art rules or anything like that. But I never painted until I met Jennifer. Maybe like once, and it was like abstract and terrible. But it, thanks to Jennifer, she brought out, the more artistic skills in me.
Oh.
Well, when you see those art galleries or auctions of art pieces that were found 100 to 300 years ago, and they're abstract and they look weird, because of the age of it, they go for thousands, sometimes millions of dollars. So it's not always, as they always say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I believe art is in the eye of the beholder as well, because what one person thinks is weird, someone else thinks it's amazing, and they'll spend $1 million on it.
Right. I mean, like, so we just, the love of abandoned buildings was just something that we both kind of stumbled into and realized about each other. And I think they're beautiful, like an empty old building with peeling wallpaper, the way the light shines through the windows. I love it. It's so fascinating. So, and I know a lot of people would say, like, I can't believe you guys are sneaking around these old creepy buildings. A, you're going to get arrested. B, you're
gonna get crushed to death by a wall.
Yeah, like the buildings are falling apart, you might die. And a lot of times people just didn't understand what we saw in the abandoned buildings. So then when we started making paintings that looked like crumbling wallpaper, and people were even more confused. So we had a couple good gallery shows, and we called it like the short history of decay. And we were featured in Somerset's Studio magazine, and the article was The Beauty of Decay. And I think when you just say the word decay, people think automatically it's going to be disgusting. But
you're definitely right, though. All art is a matter of taste. It's an eye of the beholder, and our abstract is a lot more different than I think most, because it's less clean. We try to make it more dirty and look like it's been on fire and like covered in moss and grime and dust and cobwebs.
cobwebs.
Yeah.
So there are, again, people out there who would spend $1 million on a piece of art, or they talk about, some of the ancient artists, and they go, oh my gosh, amazing, amazing, amazing. But then when a child says, I think I want to be an artist, a lot of people go, oh, you should get a real job, be a doctor, be a lawyer. And we don't all need to be doctors and lawyers, because if we were, then this world would not be running. So, but then there are people out there who go, okay, and they get that real job, they hate their life. And in the back of their mind, they're thinking about it, but they won't do anything about it. So can you give some encouraging advice, inspiring advice to those who know that art is something they should be doing? Even if it's not full-time, they should at least start part-time. What can you tell them to encourage them to start using that gift they have?
Oh, a lot.
So I have made my entire living, my whole life, either in some way, shape, or form in the arts. So it is very possible. And I will say something that one of my professors told me in college when I went to school for acting, which again, everybody said, why are you going to school for acting? You're not going to be an actress. And my professor said, talent is talent and art is art. And it doesn't matter if it's happening in a classroom one day a week, just it for like, on the afternoons, on the weekends, or if it's on a Broadway stage, art and talent is the same no matter where you are. So never think that what you're doing is less than. Like, because I was just a student in New Hampshire, not on a Broadway stage, and she said, nothing we do here is less than what people are famous for. Talent is talent. Use it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure my parents still think what we do is not legitimate because we don't live in Hollywood. So I don't think it matters if nobody sees your art, or even if you don't make anything, you could still be an artist, I think, because it all has to come from, the inside, and then you make it, bring it out, physically out there somehow. And it doesn't matter if you're not
don't look at me.
If there's people in your way who think you're never going to be an artist, just go for it. Yeah.
Right. Awesome. So last question. I believe I asked you more than 5, but last question. So whether they be dead or alive, can you name an artist you would like to meet and have a conversation with?
Oh, I'm gonna go with, this is such a tough one. I would say Vermeer, because even though it's technically so far from the work that we actually do, his use of light and the way he captured textures on fabric was almost hauntingly beautiful. And I would want to know what it was that made him fall in love with light the way he did. So I would want to, so Vermeer.
Ryan Murphy?
Ryan Murphy?
Why not?
He's an artist.
Any reason why?
Oh, we've seen most of his TV series, and the casting is always great. It's shot always great. The story's amazing. Nothing not to like,
And he's kind of a Renaissance man.
Or Shirley Jackson.
Oh gosh, I should have said Shirley Jackson.
Except she would not want to talk to us. She'd just be like, leave me alone.
See, I was thinking strictly visual artists. I'm going to change my answer. Shirley Jackson. Or Anne Sexton.
God.
You're watching the artist. You're watching the artist within. Thank you for watching The Artist Within. If you'd like to be a guest, please contact us at storec.com@gmail.com and let us know. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. storec.com